Sandy first.
Yep.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, hold on one minute, because we're still
Want me to do it
trying to
again?
webcast. Good, now we're good.
All right, we're going to start with the open Board of Health meeting.
Thank you.
Susan?
The open Board of Health meeting for this evening, we had one sanitary conditions, which was about feeding of wildlife. There was a complaint of a resident feeding too many wildlife and attracting rodents. And then there were two miscellaneous, which were no heat in rental units. So Board of Health went out, but everything was remediated. So that's the end of the report. 3 calls altogether.
Awesome. This is an open public meeting. Does anyone have any comments in reference to the Board of Health meeting? Any questions? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close the public portion?
So made.
Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the, just the health meeting, right?
Just the
I'm
health.
a little confused.
Just the health meeting.
I apologize, my head's not right. Can I? So motion to adjourn the Board of Health meeting?
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, ordinance, second reading and public hearing for ordinance number 2024-09. A 2024 ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank. NJSA 40A:4-45.14. This is an open public meeting. Does anyone have any comments in reference to that? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close?
So made. Second.
Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt?
So made.
Second. Any comments? Can I get a roll call, please, Terry?
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Noon?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approved.
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. Resolution 2024-R-86, a resolution to read the budget by title only. Whereas NJSA 40A:4-8, as amended by L. 2015 C95 14/2015, provides that the budget may be read by title only at the time of the public hearing if a resolution is passed by not less than a majority of the full governing body, providing that at least 1 week prior to the date of hearing, a complete copy of the budget has been made available for public inspection and has been made available to each person upon request. And whereas these two conditions have been met, so now therefore it be resolved that the budget shall be read by title only. Motion to approve resolution.
So made.
Second.
Comments? Roll call, please, Terry.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Noon?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approved.
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. Resolution 2024-R-87, a resolution for local examination. Motion to approve.
So made.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call, please, Terry.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Noon?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approved.
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. All right, Resolution 2024-R-75 to approve the 2024 municipal budget. I'm going to run through a summary of revenues. We have a surplus, $4.5 million. Total miscellaneous revenues, $3,668,195.58. Receipt from delinquent taxes is $500,000. Local tax for municipal purposes, $12,515,276.42. Nothing for the local district school tax added. Amount to be raised by taxes for support of municipal budget is $12,515,276.42, giving us a total general revenue of $21,183,472. Summary of appropriations, operating expenses being salaries and wages, $7,694,829.37. Other expenses, $7,282,830.07. Deferred charges and other appropriations, $1,992,079. Capital improvements are $75,000. The debt service, including school purposes, $2,824,023. Reserve for uncollected taxes is $1,000,000. $314,710.56 to bring our total appropriations to $21,183,472. With that, I believe, Susan, you have a little presentation for us we'd like to put together between you and Andy?
Yeah, so as you know, every year we do a budget presentation, just to break it down so that everybody can see. The presentation will be, it'll be on our webpage, and you all have been given a copy too, just to kind of follow along. But again, just so that we can just break it down for everybody. So our first slide is the 2023 tax rate allocation. We have to use last year's because we still don't have the county and the schools. But as you'll see, 62.7% goes to our school district. So of the taxes, of our residents' taxes, 62.7% of their taxes go to the Maple Shade School District. 25.1% is kept here within the township. Then we have 0.9%, which is the Burlington County open space. 10.4% is your county tax. And then 0.9% is the Burlington County Library. So that is something, you know, that, even though it's here in the building and it is a county, residents do pay a tax on that as well. Total state aid, just to give a comparison of what the municipality has gotten from 2020 to 2024. In 2020, we were at $1.7 million. 2021, the same amount, $1.7 million, and the same in 2022. In 2023, we jumped up to $1.8 million, and in 2024, we have $1.9 million. So it's always nice to get extra aid. And that, too, comes from, you know, when we do the, Andy, help me with the word that I'm looking for, when we do for the comptroller.
The audit?
Best practices. Thank you. Thank you, Doris, in the background. There we go. We got support. So when we do the best practices, we get the support of all of our employees, too, and we're able to, that is a direct reflection of being it. We don't lose any aid, so.
Can I add that the increase over the past 2 years is not guaranteed? The state tells us every year that you're not guaranteed to get those increases that we have been fortunate enough to get over the past 2 years. We're usually at the flat 1.7.
Awesome.
So our next slide is our municipal budget comparison between 2020 and 2024. In 2020, our municipal budget was just a little over $19 million, $19,089,000. In 2021, we were $18,760. In 2022, back up to $19,256. In 2023, we were at $19,887,000, and for 2024, we're proposing a $21,183,472. The difference between 2023 and 24 is just about $1.3 million. The increase in our local municipal tax rate by year, because let's face it, that's what everybody is concerned about. So we did the comparison from 2017 to this year in 2024. In 2017, there was a 2% tax increase. 2 cent tax increase. In 2018, a 0 tax increase. In 2019, a 2 cent increase. In 2020, we did a 0.5 cent increase. In 21 and 22, coming out of COVID, we did 0% increase both those years. In 2023, 1.9 cents. And now in 2024, we're proposing a 1.3 cent increase. There's been a lot of questions. I've received a couple emails, a handful of emails over the last week about surplus and us using the surplus. In this municipal budget, we are using $4.5 million. Municipality has been sitting in a very good position financially. We're very stable. But I wanted to just kind of expand a little bit on what surplus is. And the amount, surplus is, by definition, is the amount of unexpended funds that a municipality will have on hand for use in the next following year's budget, fiscal year budget. Why should a town work towards accumulating a surplus? By accumulating surplus year to year, a municipality can help protect against unexpected revenue losses, and it can be used to help reduce the need to increase the municipal tax levy when faced with substantial cost increases. You know, if we go back to 2020 and 2021 and 22 coming out of COVID, we elected to use those surpluses those years as well, so that we did not have a tax increase for our residents, especially understanding that coming out of the pandemic, things were just topsy-turvy. You know, everybody, we really didn't know which way we were going. And then what does the Department of Community Affairs say on surplus? And this comes directly from Jacqueline Suarez, the director. The division encourages municipalities to have an established policy, which we did in 2020. We put a policy in place concerning surplus accumulation and its sustainable use in the annual budget. Ratings agencies want to see this, which helps with municipalities' bond rating. So that's just a little of what surplus is. But I also wanted to be able to address the surplus questions that we had and what Maple Shade surpluses balances have been by year. So if you look, I went all the way back to 2014 with those surplus budgets. Let me pull out my handy-dandy document, too. In 2014, we had a beginning balance of in 2014, we had a beginning balance of $673,706. That year in 2014, the municipality chose to use $600,000 of that surplus in their budget, so we used almost all of that surplus. And then we ended the year with $657,151. As we go on to 2015, 2016, 2017, 18, and 19, we were building our surplus to where in 2019, we started the year with $7,683,143. That year, we used $2.4 million, a little over $2.4 million in surplus to help with the budget. And there was, at the end of the year, $9,098,499 in surplus at the end of the year. 2020, we used $3.3 million. We ended the year with $10,139,000 in surplus. In 2021, we used just about $3.6 million. We ended the year with $10,083,000 and some change in surplus. 2022, we used $4.2 million, ended the year with an $8 million, $800,000 surplus, and now again in 2023 we used $4.25 million and ended with 7.9. So as it has decreased some, we still sit on a very healthy surplus number. Those years in 21 and 22 were used to come in with the 0% tax increases for our residents. But it's all within what the state allows us to use for surplus. And again, they want you're not supposed to sit on millions and millions of dollars of surplus. So Maple Shade surplus in review, again, at the end of year 2023, we were at $7.9 million, just a little bit over. Down slightly due, again, to decrease revenues. There are things that we're just not collecting on. We use it to offset our tax increase to our residents. And the question has come is why don't we use surplus for infrastructure? So once we use the surplus for infrastructure, that does not generate revenue again. Once we use it, it's gone. It means that it will not help to replenish our surplus. What we do is we are using the surplus to offset our taxes and provide new programs. We started the rental registration and inspection program. We have the reassumption of our fire marshal office. We have a new cannabis program that's going to be in. We have recreation programs that we've put in there, all of which will help to increase our revenues and help replenish our surplus. There were questions also that I received about why our road programs, why we're not using the surplus for our road programs. Our road programs, we fund those through NJDOT grant funding annually. And there's been a lot of questions about what we have done and what roads we have done. We've done a lot. We really have. And I apologize, I'm a little, let me find what I can get you for the road. That's it. Thank you. I got it covered here. So since 2020, or really since August of 2019, we've done Collins Lane, South Lippincott, Gradwell Avenue, Marion Lane, Indian Queen, North Coles, and Frederick Avenue, all with NJDOT money. So that's just about that's 8 roads. Currently in progress with NJDOT money, we have Alexander Avenue at Rutterville, Front Street, which is going to be Fork Landing to North Coles, or Fork Landing to Stiles, North Coles, which will be Lancey to Park, Roland Avenue, County and Spruce, and then Fork Landing Road at the Yoakum School. We're going to be doing a project there too. Again, all with grant money. This allows us, again, to have the surplus that we can use to offset our residents' taxes. I also did a surplus comparison by town, end of year. Andy and I looked at our town, Maple Shade. We looked at Morristown, Delran, and Burlington Township, just to see where we stand and where we come in with our surplus numbers. Again, in 2018, Maple Shade was sitting on $7.6 million of surplus. Today, in 2023, we're sitting at $7.9 million in surplus. There's some fluctuations in there. You know, in 2019, we were up to $9 million. 2020, we were at 10. But we're all hovering around. We've been hovering around that number, that high 7s to $10 million. Morristown in 2018 had just under $8.7 million surplus. Currently, they're sitting just at $8.6 million. Again, they had the same fluctuations where they went to 8.2, down to 6.8 in 2020, back up to 7.6 in 2021. 22, they saw a 9.5, and at the end of 2023, they were down to 8.6. Delran, another community that's similar to ours, 9.3 million surplus in 2018, 9.1 in 2019, 9.1 again in 2020, up to 9.9 in 2021, which that year, too, we all received a little bit of extra money from the state for COVID money, so I'm sure that that's where some of it is attributed to. Burlington Township, I used them as well. They were at 7.3 in 2018, 8.1 in 2019, 8.4 in 2020, 8.5 in 2021, and in 2022 they were up to just a little over 11 million. So again, our surplus is very healthy. You know, I hate, and I know that residents don't like to compare Maple Shade to other towns, but when we start comparing our taxes to other towns, this is important too. It's all relative of where it is, but we are within the same boundaries and within the same guides of each. So looking at the 2024 budgeted revenues, amount to be raised by taxation is 59.1%. That's always your largest. No matter where you are, what town you are, your largest is to be raised by taxation. 21% of our revenues is coming from surplus, but we plan on regenerating that and replenishing that. So that's where that is coming from. We have local revenues at 2.2%, state aid at 9%, our uniform construction fees, we have grants, delinquent taxes, other, and shared services agreements as well. This is just, the next slide is just a breakdown. It just says basically what those budgeted revenues are. So the amount to be raised by taxation, we're raising $12,515,276 through taxation. We're using $4.5 million in surplus. We're using $1.9 in state aid. Local revenues, we have another $460,000. Our shared services, we have $376,000. Hoping to collect receipts from delinquent taxes of $500,000. We have other miscellaneous items of $266,177. Our uniform construction code, we've budgeted to bring in $210,000, and then we have our grants, which is just under $500,000. So our budgeted appropriations, again, your biggest nut of your budget, sorry, Chief, is public safety. It comes from your police, fire, EMS, and OEM. Next, it comes from our Public Works Department, 9.3% is there. We have statutory expenses, another 9.3%. Our capital debt is 13.7%. Our insurances, that's all of our insurances, our liability, our workman's comp, that's 8.8%. Our landfill, solid waste, is 7.1% of our appropriations. Reserve for uncollected taxes, what we have to keep for those that we can't collect, is 6.2%. The general government administration, which would be the administration upstairs, those salaries, what we have to do, our operating expenses here, is 6.5%. And then you have other at 0.3%, shared services at 2.4%, planning at 0.6%. So again, our utilities at 2.9%. Next page is just the 2024 budgeted appropriations. It breaks it down. Public safety departments, again, police, fire, EMS, and this year with our fire department and where we are doing this new program, everything is included in there. Comes out to $6.4 million. That includes the 2 full-timers that we have, the 4 part-timers that we have on staff now. It also includes the stipend program and any of the volunteers that wind up with coming on and doing like duty crew and whatnot. Everything in there is included. Capital and debt service is at $2.8 million. Public Works Department is at 1.9. Insurances are at 1.8. Statutory expenditures, which are our pension, Social Security, et cetera, is also at 1.9. Landfill and solid waste is at 1.5. General government administration, that's admin, clerk, finance, tax, legal, 1.3. Reserve for uncollected taxes is at 1.3. Utilities is at $619,000. Shared services at $516,000. Our court and public defender, $171,000. Parks and Recreation, $158,600. That's one of those areas where we have increased what we do there, offering more programs, making it more elaborate. Uniform Construction Code is $154,000. Land Use and Planning, $125,950, and then other miscellaneous, $67,680, getting us to our total budgeted appropriations of $21,183,472. Then I did, last slide, hopefully it goes, there it is just a breakdown of 23 versus 2024. So you'll see the first line, and if you can see it, I know it's hard for everybody to see it in the audience, and I apologize. Public safety, again, this year it comes in at 6.4. Last year, it was at $5,460,896. So, an increase, a difference of about just a little over $1 million there. Capital and debt service, we are seeing a savings this year of $39,782. Public Works, there's a savings there of $3,615. Our insurances have raised. Our statutory debt, which is the pension, Social Security, et cetera, that's raised over $150,000. Our landfill and solid waste disposal, that's gone up over $73,000. Our reserve fund collected taxes increased by almost $25,000. Our general government, that increased by $84,000. Utilities are down a little bit. We'll hope, fingers crossed. We hope everybody turns the lights off around here. Our shared services, up just about $6,200. Our uniform construction code, up $21,000. Our court and public defenders, because there's been some changes in that department, that we'll hopefully see a savings of about $44,000. Parks and recreation, $3,900. Land use and planning, up about $5,100, and then other and miscellaneous, $190.07. So our budget is, again, we're stable. We have an excellent, financial outlook for the community. Yes, $4.5 million is a large number. We get it, but it's used to offset the taxes. If we did not use that number, taxes would increase, tenfold. Again, this increase proposes on an average taxpayer on the average household of $161,000 assessed home is just about $20.83, I think is what it came into.
Oh, is that for the year?
Per year, yes, so that's not a quarter. Again, we've put all that, we'll have it again in the newsletter. This presentation will be put out in the newsletter as well. But I want to thank Andy and Doris and Jess and Finance, all of the employees, because again, we're bringing in a budget that allows us to continue. There's things in the police department. We've been able, over the last 4 years, we've hired 8 guys and women, men and women. We have another, hiring this year. We're looking, for 3. That also includes, we've also started the SLEO 1 program where we've been able to bring on 3 new employees. The chief's been able to do things, in the community affairs department, the community policing department. Those things are all included in these budget. We're not cutting those services. We're not cutting the services of recreation. We're not looking for layoffs. So we're increasing what we're doing. We're increasing our programs. We're, improving upon our programs, and then we're putting in, on the other side, we're putting in the programs and procedures that need to be put in place so that everything is not falling on the taxpayers. The landlord registration program, that rental program, that's important. I mean, not only does it help blight, but it's also bringing in, revenue for us, and we're making sure that these homes are safe. So again, I think we presented you with a very stable budget, and where we go from there. So, Andy, do you have anything to add?
I just have a little bit. Some of it I have mentioned to you before, and I'm probably repeating so a little. The current fund budget calls for a 1.3 cent increase, as Sue mentioned, on the local municipal tax rate. And this should be about a $21 additional cost for the year for the average assessed homeowner of a value of $161,000. If your assessment is about $200,000, then you should see an increase of about $26 for the year. If your assessment's more like $250,000, then the increase should be about a $32 annual increase. And just to remind the taxpayers that their tax rate is made up of the municipal rate, the school rate, and the 3 county rates that you saw in the slides, the county, the library, and the open space. And even though we collect the taxes for all of those entities, we can only control the municipal rate. And this municipal budget has an increase of almost $1.1 million in expenditures over the 2023 amended budget. This is mostly due to, as Sue's already said, it's increases in the various public safety budgets, specifically the police, fire, first aid, and OEM. There's also the increases in pension, landfill, solid waste, general administration, insurances, garbage, trash. The budget allows for the hiring of replacement employees in the police department and public works departments which have experienced retirements and/or resignations. The police also received a COPS grant, so they'll be hiring 3 additional officers. It allows for hirings in the fire marshal and the fire department budgets as we continue moving forward on improving services to the residents. Some budget cuts were made to help lessen the impact on the taxpayer. Some departments had overall budget reductions when you compared them to last year's amended budget, but they are not expected to negatively impact the operations of those departments. Also, to lessen the impact to the taxpayer, we used an additional $250,000 in surplus over 2023, as Sue had mentioned, and we added some reserves as revenues that we determined would not be needed for use in the next few years. We're using more surplus in this budget so that we can lessen the impact on the taxpayers. We plan to replenish the surplus balance with new revenues in the next year or two from the rental registrations, fire marshal fees, and cannabis revenues that will be coming in. A lot of hard work went into this budget as we tried to balance the wants and needs of the various departments with the desires of the taxpayers to keep the tax increase low while still providing the same level of services that they expect. And I would like to thank everyone that was involved in the process. They know who they are. Thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
I'd like to thank, obviously, our finance department and all the other department heads that make it all happen every day around here. So, all right, with that being said, this is an open public meeting. Is there anyone that has any comments in reference to the 2024 municipal budget? Seeing none, make a motion to close the public hearing.
So made.
Second.
Comments on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt?
So made.
moved.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call, please, Terry.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Nunes?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approve.
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. This is the public portion for the consent agenda items. If there's any members of the public wishing to speak in reference to our consent agenda items, please come forward. No, not yet, no. Well, that's just regular public comments, not consent agenda. All right, with none seen, can I get a motion to close the public portion for the consent agenda?
So made. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, consent agenda, Resolution 2024-R-88, authorizing the use of John F. Kennedy or ACES Field and a temporary street closure for a bubble festival hosted by the Maple Shade Business and Economic Development Commission.
You know you want to go. I mean, you're excited.
It's all great. Resolution 2024-R-89, authorizing the use of Gazebo Park and temporary street closure for the 2024 Downtown Dog Parade hosted by the Maple Shade Business and Economic Development Commission. Good to see she's kicking butt and doing stuff for us. We appreciate it. Resolution 2024-R-90, award of contract to Booth Mechanical for the installation of a new bypass connection to the Windsor Ave pump station. Resolution 2024-R-91, amend contract with Durstein Company LLC for the wastewater treatment plant screw pump reconditioning and approve change order number 1. Resolution 2024-R-92, resolution requesting permission for the dedication by rider, for lead hazard control assistant fund required by NJSA 52:27D-437.16. That was a mouthful, that one.
It was.
Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So made.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call, please, Terry.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Nunes?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approve.
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. Approval of the expenditure list. Sue?
Thanks. Current
Andy-
fund bill
Andy,
is,
thank you.
current fund bill is $2,954,851.10. Utility fund bill is $475,301.21. Capital fund bill is $1,764.72. Utility capital, $48,665. Our trust fund, $246,767.04, and our grant fund bill list, $11,687.16. I have reviewed the above bill list as submitted and recommend payment when funds are available.
Make a motion to approve.
So made.
Second?
Andy was
He's
second.
Second.
motioned,
Oh,
you're
okay, second.
Okay.
Second. Okay,
Any
got it.
comments? Roll call, please, Terry.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Nunes?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approve.
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. This is a public open public meeting. If there's anyone in the audience that would like to address council, please come forward at this time.
Ray Frenecki, 100 Grant Avenue in Morristown. Again, I come in peace. I really don't want to be here, but, as we talked last meeting about the gun range, I was just curious to see if any headway has been made.
We have definitely moved forward for you. We took that, what you said, and ran with it. We did have a meeting with the Sportsman's Club. They sat down and explained some of their rules, some of their doing, what they're doing to keep noise down, all that. We are still waiting for some other write-ups that they're going to produce for us, some questions that we asked, we're looking for some answers for. So we're definitely moving forward to see what we can or cannot do there. As of right now, it's been 2 weeks, I just, I don't have anything yet.
All right.
Like I said, it's moving forward. I mean, for the fact that they came right in, we asked them to come in. We actually delayed the meeting a couple of days because Susan and I just weren't available.
Right.
So they were willing to come in. They've been extremely forward. They do a lot of good for our town that I didn't even realize they did. So it's something that we want to, and didn't get any pushback from them. Didn't get any, this guy's out of his mind. Hey, let's sit down and see what we can do. Don't know what it's going to be yet. Obviously, that's not something we can just wave our magic wand at, but.
Somewhat contradicting to what I was told.
Okay.
I shouldn't say.
No. I mean, we were both in the meeting. I mean,
she had told me that in the beginning they wanted to be good neighbors and not to do anything. Well, I think she pretty much was. They just wanted to be good neighbors. I can't remember anything else. But
that's
then the next time
kind of
we
what I was
talked-
saying.
The next time we talked, she said that they were angry that they were asked to do anything. So now.
I don't think I
Well-
used the word angry. I did say that they were upset and, that would someone come up. But, and I'll let you finish because then I can.
I can't remember. I don't know if that was through text or verbal or over the phone, but so I'm pretty sure. I'm not.
Angry, upset, kind of the same thing. But go ahead.
Yeah. I don't know how it went from one thing to the other like that quick or whatever. But you said you do things for the community. Again, I remind you of the thing about the taxes. I mean, that would be nice if they paid the taxes or whatever. I'm pretty sure everybody else from Maple Street pays taxes, but I don't know what they do nice for the community. Maybe that's not public information.
No, I mean, they told they do the high school. They do what's the word I'm looking for high school? Scholarships. Thank you. I don't have the list off the top of my head. I wasn't, but I mean, it's surprising. And like I said, they've been there since 1940.
1942.
42. I was going to have all my notes under here.
Well, that is a long time.
So and that's predates all of our zoning. It predates everything. The only thing they really did, and it's long before Chief Fletcher was probably even thinking of being a cop, is they had our police department involved in kind of their setup.
Right.
That's the only thing they've done with the township, and that's so the fact that they haven't just blatantly said, hey,
Right.
get
Well,
lost.
I mean, the other thing is with again, it's not like a building or a business or something like that. It's an outdoor gun range, which is supposed to be up to code. It's supposed to have yearly inspections.
And that absolutely happens. There's no way they're opening without that.
You're sure about that?
That's what I was told by
Is
them,
the
and
inspector
that's some of the
a
stuff
member
we're
there?
waiting for.
I'm just wondering if the inspector's a member there because I've read inspection codes and that doesn't even come close to
Well, that's
meeting any kind of
the stuff that we're waiting for. They obviously did not have that with them. They didn't know really what the meeting was
Well,
besides just a conversation.
Right,
So
and I mean, just so you know, like, that there's no way that comes close, there's no ricocheting thing, I mean, there's a berm that they shoot against, but that's it. There's, as far as Morristown's concerned, as far as the Pensacola Creek
correct.
is concerned, there's nothing to prevent lead shot from going
No,
into there.
no.
It's just-
We were told that there's a steel wall. Again, this is the stuff we're waiting for. You can tell me one thing, they can tell me another. Until I see it, I can't make a decision for you.
My question is,
So-
like, as somebody like me, how, like, they could say anything they want. They could say, like, how am I supposed to know it's true? Like, how am I?
Well, I think we would We'll look into it. We're not just gonna,
But I mean, anybody that doesn't pay their taxes, there must be something going on to where,
5 minutes, but.
What's
we're
that?
at- We're at 5 minutes, but I think,
Okay.
again, as I said to you today, we're waiting for the information from them. We did meet with them last week. Mayor was there, I was there. It was also, they had 3 of their members. One happens to also be their attorney. But they spoke to us. I mean, they were willing to give it. As I told you today, I expect it early next week, if not hopefully tomorrow, because they knew that I was going to be out the last couple days. And we're going to continue to work on it.
all right, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
no, we appreciate you coming up, bringing it to our attention. All right, anyone else have anything they'd like to bring up to council? Hearing none, can I get a motion to close the public
So
portion?
made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Staff and professional comments. I'm going to start with you, Councilwoman.
With me. Well, of course, it's Mother's Day weekend, so make sure you honor and respect your mother, and make sure you get out there and buy local. Everybody's there at your beck and call up on Main Street, on the highways, to support each other. And all of you, happy Mother's Day, and thank you for everything that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Kaufman?
Thank you, Mayor. Just one thing, I just want to reiterate what I said a couple of meetings ago about sump pumps. It's been pretty dry, so we're probably not having any issues. But it's going to rain again, and we know it's going to rain. If you have a sump pump that dumps into the sewer system, that's against the law. You can't have it. So please, if you have a sump pump that dumps into the sewer system, you need to make arrangements to make sure that you eliminate that and have it dumped into the storm sewer system, not the public sewer system. So I just want to make that very clear. DEP is constantly looking at our numbers in our sewer system, and we're at capacity. So please, again, take that to heart. That's all, Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you.
I do have a question on that. Would they reach out to a plumber? I mean, what would the residents do reach out to a plumber? Is that what they need
If
to do?
they're not capable, I would assume that would be the most logical.
Okay,
Some people are just dumping it out in their yards.
Yeah.
I don't know how effective that is, but
right.
you
I'm just saying,
anywhere but into the actual sewer system would be fantastic, because
Well, at least
we can't keep having
At least
these
give them
odors.
some guidance if someone doesn't
Right.
realize if their house has been like that their whole, time
Right.
living here,
Sure.
because it's been like that forever.
Yeah, I would suggest, like I said, they don't have the ability, if they're not, if they're not a plumber.
So a local
That's it.
plumber,
Correct.
someone.
We'll keep it local. Absolutely.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
That's okay. Deputy Mayor Least?
Yes, Mayor. Friday evening, April 26th, Mayor Schmidt, Bobby Lynn Lewis,
Loomis.
my wife, Loomis,
Picking on me, I get my shots back. Let me slide over a little bit.
my wife Linda Weist, and I volunteered for the football carnival. This is the first time in many years that the carnival has gone rain-free for the week. So instead of raining, it was pretty chilly every night. Yet it was still a lot of people there. And it was just very well attended. I couldn't believe for the first hour or hour and a half that the ticket stand was open. They were lined up from the ticket stand out to Broadway. There were a lot of people there. The rides were running. It really was satisfying to be there and help out. May 3rd, there was a ribbon cutting for a new business at the Acme Shopping Center off of Lanola Road called Mahi Brow Bar. Maple Shade Fire Department went back in operation on Thursday, May 2nd, a week ago today. The Maple Shade Wildcats baseball team partnered up with All About the Kids to help stock the local food pantry. They donated almost $5,000 worth of food and drinks to our food pantry. and I'm sure that messed up construction, but they're still operating. Thank you so much to those that organized that, and thank you for all those young men for what they did. That is a tremendous, tremendous help. I know what we do with National Night Out and the other things, but that's really very special. The Emmanuel Baptist Church, located at Poplar Avenue and Main Street, is having their annual Moonlight Madness Yard Sale. And why it is called that is because it starts Friday, which would be tomorrow, at 11 a.m., and it's open until midnight. They have lights and tons of people there. And then Saturday, it continues from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. I've been over there several times while they are setting up, and it's just unimaginable the amount of things that they have for sale. So go in there, stop and grab a bargain. The next concert in the park is called Parrot Beach. It'll be Tuesday, May 14th from 6:30 to 8:30 at Gazebo Park. The Downtown Dog Parade at the Gazebo Park will be held Wednesday, May 22nd. And as Councilwoman Noon said, this is Mother's Day coming up. I lost my mom nearly 10 years ago, and Mother's Day just brings back a lot of fond memories. So appreciate your mom, and enjoy the day. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. As Deputy Mayor Weiss stated, our fire department did open last Thursday. Together, we have now about 21 fire, I don't want to say firemen, firefighters. So our numbers are increasing between the few paid that we did bring on, and we do have a lot of volunteers. And it appears that there's about 10 more volunteers that are running through the process now of doing their paperwork and getting fitted for gears. So it'll be fantastic to be up into the 30s with our volunteer firefighters with that department. So it'll be good. I think it's all in a positive way. Like everyone else said, it is Mother's Day weekend coming up, so they're not always here all the time. So enjoy them while you can if they're still with you. Old business. Operations, Susan?
Just some quick notes. Mary Beth Green of Homes.com has penned a short article about our community, highlighting all the town has to offer. A link will be included in our May newsletter. We'll also find it up on our webpage hopefully tomorrow. But it was nice. I know, Mayor, you had participated in it, and Jen had also participated, gave some comments. So I'll send that out to everybody. It was just nice to see it's up live now. So our annual household cleanup was another huge success, as was our community yard sale. The yard sale had 55 homes on the map, and then we had at least another 30-plus homes join us. As I drove around, I had, when I had come to town, I had driven around and I had counted, at that point, over 79 homes, 80 homes that was there. So it was great. It was a great event. Hopefully people did well. It's mixed. It's one man's junk is somebody else's treasure. So all depends on what they're looking for. But I do appreciate everybody who participated, and it was a good event. We had a lot of good feedback. I'm not going to reiterate about the fire department. Obviously, we all know that was an exciting day for us. We were happy. Just so that the residents do know, though, it is staffed daily between 8 a.m. and 12 midnight. There's staff there along being supplemented by volunteers as well. So that's good. Also, we just wanted to give a reminder to our residents that now that it is grass mowing season, grass clippings should not be blown into the street and are left around the storm drains. Those that are blowing them into the storm drains, if you have a storm drain by your house and you have grass clippings, when you have not cleaned them up, it is against township code. So residents are asked to please clean that up. Those that choose not to mulch their grass clippings back into their lawns, they can be placed in the regular trash. But obviously we do encourage that they get mulched back into their yards. And we also do want to remind all landlords that they must be registered with the township as a landlord and also have a rental inspection completed on their property. We're just getting to the 1-year mark where we were implementing the program. We were giving everybody a lot of leeway. If we haven't heard from them, we've sent out multiple notices to people that we know that are rental properties, but we haven't heard from them. The program really is a way of protecting both the landlord and the renter, obviously, if they register, which is required by law. If they, God forbid, they have to evict, if they're not registered as a landlord, they will not get any sort of consideration in the court. So they have to be registered. But then on the same time for the renter, it's allowing the renter, it's giving them that protection. It's making sure that their properties are kept up to code and are safe for them. And it also is helping keeping our rental properties from falling into disrepair. So we have sent out multiple notices to our landlords over the past year. We do thank those that have complied, and we're advising those that have not that those violation notices are going to be sent out within the next week. And if they're still not complying, then we will start issuing the fines. So
Do we have a percentage of who hasn't reached out to us?
I don't have that percentage,
Okay.
but I can get that. It's a handful. There's
Okay.
more than there should be. Let's just say.
Okay.
Let's just say that. That's all I have.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Chief Fletcher, you're up.
Thank you, Mayor. On Tuesday, April 23rd, our team attended the annual Crime Victims Breakfast hosted by Prosecutor Lucia Bradshaw. It's an event that we try never to miss, and our participation is just an extension for our support for crime victims in our community. Each year, Prosecutor Bradshaw has victims impacted by violence speak to those in attendance to share their very personal and emotional stories of how crime has impacted their lives and the excellent work that her victim witness unit does when they're working with crime victims. It was well attended. It's something that we try to go to. It reminds us of who we're really out here working for, victims of crime. And these victims that share stories are often victims of murder, sexual assault, things that are just incredibly personal. So it's great to hear their stories and how law enforcement and the victim witness unit has come alongside the families that support them. On Thursday, April 25th, our team hosted the second annual Bring Your Child to Work Day. We had almost 40 kids show up. It was a fun-filled day with various police-related activities for the kids. For the older kids, we did kind of like a big clue game. We had some things happening with chalking, electric vehicle rides. The ladies set up a lot of fun activities for the smaller kids. We have a little resiliency chalkboard that we keep down in the police department, so they all came down to chalk that and then chalk our spots out. And it was a great day. We served pizza from one of our local establishments, and then we ended the day with some Mr. Softy. So everybody came out and got their fill. And overall, I think it was great just to see that family atmosphere exist. And again, like I've talked about, 40 kids, I would have never imagined that, but that's where we're at as an agency. It was great to see. I want to really thank Corporal Misty Weiss. Misty was off still recovering from her surgery, but still came up on her own time to help out, along with my secretary, Dara, and PBA Local 267, and a lot of the police department members came up to volunteer. Yes, we had a lot of dads up here volunteering with the kids, which was great to see. And, we couldn't have done it without all their input and everybody who helped out. And PBA Local 267 covered the funding for all of that, which was great to see as well. Over the course of the last month, our agency has completed switching out our handguns. We've gone from a .357 Magnum type handgun to a 9mm for our handgun fans out there in the audience. .357 ammunition is almost impossible to get. Finance has canceled a number of our outstanding POs because we can't fill them with the purchases of ammunition. So between that and the age of the weapon systems that we were carrying, our firearms team, led by Captain Brian Weiss, did a fantastic job researching a platform. We're doing some things with this particular firearm to help improve accuracy and skill, and that was shown immediately on the range. Whether you're aware of it or not, the indoor fire range in Burlington County has been down for months. That has forced everybody to the outdoor range. Well, the first couple of days we try to go up there, it's either raining sideways or it's 10 degrees and sleeting. It's not conducive to trying to shoot paper targets mounted on cardboard. But we managed to get through and get everybody through, and what we saw was just our qualifying scores go up drastically.
That's great.
So we're very happy. This is, doesn't pack quite as much punch as a single-double action. That's like some technical terms, but 357 to the 9 millimeters is a little bit of a step down, and I think that's helped the officers as well. I want to thank Susan because she was very helpful, and Andy in finance, because we had to do a number of things to juggle this around over the really 2 years out, but the year and a half that we were moving things around to make this happen, because you're talking, you got to bring guns in, you have to bring in accessories, you got to bring in ammunition, you got to bring in holsters, and now we're on the back end of that where we're going to be selling and offloading that stuff as well and doing, some hopefully some trading on ammunition to restock our supply. But overall, I think it went very well, and we were pretty happy with how the process worked out. On Thursday, May 2nd, Officer Anthony Marshall and K-9 Sitka were honored by Prosecutor Lucia Bradshaw with the K-9 commendation at the Pro Cops dinner. First Assistant Prosecutor Maneri, who's been working closely with us on our RIVE and our mental health working group, asked to do the presentation. We kind of formed a special relationship with her. Sitka made a surprise appearance, which everybody loved, and he was thankfully on his best behavior. When he came in, he was a hit with the crowd. Everybody was happy to see him, and it was great. We were the only K-9 commendation awarded at that event, so that was nice to see for Anthony and Sitka with their hard work coming to fruition. Last thing I'm going to talk about is some incident has been happening locally here and around us in the surrounding towns, but it has to do with swatting calls. If you're not familiar with swatting calls, it's when somebody calls into like your central communications, either over 911 or the regular phone line. When they call in, they make it seem like there's either a mass shooting or mass stabbing or some type of significant violence taking place at a specific location. Historically, this really started a lot in the gaming community on online platforms where they would SWAT one another. And a lot of times you could walk that back through an investigation to figure it out. As technology's improved, they've been using technology like spoofing and things to hide the origin of that particular call. Then when we come through the COVID area, we had a lot of foreign actors doing that during that time. And when you try to go back and trace that call, it's a lot harder to do because it's originating overseas, so your jurisdictional issues kick in at that point. And more recently, we have people that are doing it for a variety of reasons. One, to see a law enforcement response, or they have a particular axe to grind against somebody, or they're just doing it because they want to see somebody suffer some kind of traumatic episode when we're responding into these things. Because what we get from dispatch is what the officers formulate in their mind that they're walking into. And thankfully, we have very experienced street sergeants who are hearing the call and trying to make the determination, hey, am I going into a swatting call or not? So all I would say is the efforts to work together at the county level and the state level have improved drastically. And, we've had two probably in the last 2-3 weeks that we've dealt with, and we're walking them back quickly. And I'm hoping that the efforts of our investigative staff, along with our partners at the county and the state, that we're going to be able to land on some folks shortly who may be responsible for some of them.
And you will.
And I can promise you this, we will charge to the maximum capacity possible. It is nothing to play with when you're sending that type of response to somebody's home or business. And if we catch you, we will do our best, even with bail reform, to put you in jail. So that is my report.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks.
To bring the kids to work was definitely a big hit. I know we talked about it at the last meeting, but it went over very well, and I thank you guys for putting that all together.
Thank you.
Said just for you, Jen. What brand of gun did we go to?
Say,
Nice.
yeah.
Love it. All right. Site plan, Deputy Mayor?
Yes, there was. May 7th, there was site plan. Bill and Diana Lynch brought in an application to add a small addition onto their warehouse at their property. Very simple. The next was an application for 11 West Main Street that used to be a travel agency, and they want to put a full-service Mexican food restaurant in there. Eat-in, take-out. They already are in a couple nearby towns, and they think this is a great spot for them on Main Street. with the parking in the back. So their presentation was excellent. Their landlord has a couple of things to do, but they said in the next 60 to 90 days, they anticipate being open. That's it. Very simple.
Yeah, good job.
Wow.
Simple's good. Anything else under old business? Switch over to new business. Liquor licenses. Ms. Hanson?
Defer to Terry.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. You received in your packet a request from 73 LL LLC. The law is changing for pocketed licenses. The liquor license law having reform starting August 1st of '24. They're allowing pocketed license. They're giving them an opportunity to do something with them. They don't want them pocketed anymore, so if they've had 2 consecutive years of being pocketed, they have a choice of losing them or selling them, transferring them, that type of thing. They have given the option of municipalities authorizing a 1-year extension. So if they do have plans, they're working on something, the council has the opportunity to give them a little bit more time. The letter that you received is one of those. The 73 LLC is looking to go in front of Fox Meadow with a restaurant. They're in the planning stages, I believe. They talked at a meeting at one point, and they're asking for an extension, 1-year extension, to get their plans in order to clean up the property because it's where that gas station was and the mini golf.
Who was 73?
It was at Fontana's
Okay.
prior to, I don't remember the man's name, but he was a private buyer from Fontana's, and then he is now involved with Fox Meadow.
Gotcha.
All right, and that is something as simple as,
Just a resolution to say that you're okay with this pocketed license being extended for 1 year.
Make a motion?
no other comments on that? Everyone good with that thought?
Yes, I guess.
Do we need
Terry,
time?
to make sure we have sufficient information from them to know what the plan is, so that you folks can vote on it knowing where it's going.
We can wait till the next meeting for this, right?
Yeah,
So
the
this will be
resolution
the
will go on
new
next
resolution.
meeting.
Right,
As long
right,
as you're
right.
okay with us putting on there, and then we'll make sure that we have all the information.
Sure. Everyone, I think everyone's
So we're
in
going to
agreement.
basically table that then?
Yeah, just to know that
Okay.
we have permission to move forward
We
with the
just want to make sure you're
resolution.
comfortable going forward, and we'll get you the rest of the information.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
There is one other new business item that we have. It's for on the planning and zoning. We have two, we have an opening on planning and an opening on zoning.
Oh,
So-
very, okay.
Yeah, we had a resignation of Mr. Wilt on planning and Mr. Williams on zoning. So we will need to move up our alternates. We got Daniel McDonald, right?
Yep, Daniel will move up.
McDonald will go up.
And then Matt Reeves will go up to alternate 1.
Promotions in the first 6 months.
Dan McDonald will go up to
A
what?
regular
A
member.
regular member.
Who? Oh.
Dan
Williams, okay.
McDonald
Yeah, you got
and
it.
Dan McDonald on planning and Matt Reeves on zoning.
No.
No.
Matt will stay on
Oh,
planning.
Matt's still on planning. Sorry.
Beth Reeves will go up on in
There
zoning.
we go. Sorry.
Okay?
So we'll do those resolutions at the next meeting too, but we'll make,
Put it out there that we're looking for
That still
people.
leave vacancies in that?
You'll have-
Alternates on both,
the
right?
alternate.
Yes, you'll have 1 missing on each.
Okay.
So we'll accept,
And zoning still has 4?
yes.
Zoning has 4.
You know what, they might have 2 vacancies now.
Did we have the vacancy?
I think we had a vacancy already.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah, so,
So zoning has 2 vacancies.
so 3 and 4 are now going to be vacant, so anybody interested?
Okay.
See how quickly you can move up?
Yeah.
That's all we got.
All right, if there is no other new business, Eileen, we do not need to go back into closed, correct?
Nothing to go back and close.
Okay. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn until the next council meeting, which is scheduled for May 23rd, 2024. It starts at 6:30, but obviously the public portion is set.
So, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming.